The strangers, believe me when I say, loving me is loving danger. Your heart is bound to break. I walk alone in the night, neath the pale moon, loving's for the fools. Baby, beware of my bite. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 Creeping through the shadows and the corners of your mind. I go with the wind blows. I run but I don't hide. I hear the call of the wild, whispering the name. No, I can't be tamed. My heart belongs to the night. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a lone wolf.
Alright guys, alright. Sorry about the unorganisation today. I've slept in. That's why the show's a little late, and it's why I'm still organising shit. Okay. Oh, well, new camera's working well. Okay, so Satellite's not here again. I don't know if he's asleep or what he's doing, but we'll continue on, and if he jumps in, then we'll go from there. Okay, just addressing Amy's comment in the chat. No, I have not deleted anybody's comment or censored anybody's comment or anything like that. Amy, if you want to... repost what you wrote yesterday if you can, and we'll see if it does it again. But as far as I know, you didn't really say anything that was a problem. So audio seems low. Really? Yeah, it does seem a bit low, doesn't it? I can't boost it up. Mark's 100% on this, so my house might be part of the mosque then. Yeah. Ah, really? And that was censored? That was it? Okay, well, it went through that time, so we'll just have to see, but... Oh, I know why. I played around with the settings. Okay. Alright. Let me know if that's better. No, yeah, it might be... yeah, see if that's better. Is that better for you guys? Audio-wise? I was playing around with the noise. Much better. Okay, yeah. I was playing around with the noise cancellation on the back. It does cancel out a lot of the background noise, but it also seemingly goes through and makes me a lot quieter. So, yeah, that happens, apparently. Alright, so let me just send out this tweet for the show. Alright. And it's that link. That tweet, publish, post. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Damn it, this whole... You can't have more than 5 hashtags on your videos. It's annoying. With friggin' minds. I don't know why they're doing this. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I still need to get rid of 1, so... That I'll do. Done. Okay, let's get on with the show. Okay, alright, Trump. Holy shit, Trump just went full troll mode on the left. So, yeah, I'm a female, please don't be offended. That's okay. Alright, cool. Let's jump into it, guys. Let's kick this show off with a bang. So, Trump doubles down on plan to ship migrants to Sanctuary City. Says radical left should be happy. Welcome to the trolling commander-in-chief, as I like to call him. Look, at the end of the day, obviously this is... I think this is a great idea. Yeah, but let's start it off. So at the start, railing against the Democrats, Trump says he's considering sending migrants to sanctuary cities. Officials had insisted the plan was dead, but the president said on Friday that he's giving strong consideration to it. So, President Donald Trump said Friday that he's very strongly considering a plan to bus the detainee immigrants to so-called sanctuary cities as a way to relegate against Democrats. We'll bring them to sanctuary city areas and let that particular area take care of it, Trump told reporters at the White House. They say they have open arms. They're always saying they have open arms. Let's see if they have open arms. The president also said he would send more troops to the border and painted the growing number of asylum seekers refuge in the US. Many of their families with young children who cannot be imprisoned for long periods of time under certain law is a security problem. Woo! Trump never heard of WikiLeaks or adultery. So we actually talked about the WikiLeaks thing yesterday, McGruff. We'll retouch on it again if you want, but yeah. There's not a lot of stuff about WikiLeaks today. We pretty much covered it for 2 days straight, but we can talk about that, yeah. So the president said he was weighing in on the idea because Democrats had blocked his efforts to change the country's very dangerous immigration laws. I don't know what you mean by adultery, but yeah. The president's statement came after the former Department of Homeland Security officer said the plan, first reported by the Washington Post on Thursday night, was ultimately scrapped when it was deemed to be so illegal. A White House official to confirm the broad outline said of the proposal Friday morning, pushing back on the idea that it meant as a retaliation towards political rivals, however, calling it that absolutely ridiculous. The officials insisted the White House had never pressured Immigration and Customs Enforcement to put a plan in motion, but simply floated it to the officials at the agency. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, message redacted there, squirrel. That was not me either. Okay, so what's happening with the messages is sometimes if they're offensive, the SPLC and these sort of guys are monitoring all the comments. They remove them. So, Squirrel, if you're in the Discord, man, post what you wrote, because I want to know what you wrote. I might be able to actually bring it up. Yes, been there in Clearwater. Is that what you wrote? Is that what they're redacting? Old age catching. Yeah, all you wrote is, yes, been there. I'm in, yeah. Oh. Sorry, my bad. Yeah. Sorry, my bad. Yep, sorry. With what happened with Amy, I thought it was them. Sorry. Oops. Do you want me to remove that audio part? I can edit it out later if you want. Alright, let me know. Trump considered releasing migrant detainees in sanctuary cities. President Donald Trump has acknowledged the plan to free immigration detainees in Democrat urban strongholds as a political retaliation ploy. It's all good. I did. No. I can remove that part, just that little section of audio if you want. The Republicans president tweeted that his antagonists should be very happy about the idea, given the open borders, open arm policy. He said he was targeted so-called sanctuary cities, which have a policy to aid undocumented workers. Well, immigrants, sorry. The furry. Hey, I'm not a furry, alright? No fur here. No, okay, so the avatar, guys. The reason why I've done it is, A, it was easy. I just downloaded a program that was $5. And B, it kind of pissed off the alt-right. So I kind of thought that was going to be funny. Yeah. Actually, Amy, since you say that, we're getting to that. DHS blocks White House plan to bus immigrants into Democrats' districts. Makes you wonder why they don't seemingly want all these detainees right now. But anyway, officials at the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, blocked by a White House proposal to spotlight Central American immigration by busing the migrants into Democrat sanctuary cities neighborhoods, according to Washington Post. DHS staffers leaked the hardball proposal to the Democrat legislators, the newspaper reported. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's district in San Francisco was among those in the White House wanted to target. According to the DHS officials, the administration also considered releasing the detainees in other Democratic strongholds. White House officials first botched the plan in November 16 email, asking officials at several agencies whether members of the caravan could be arrested at the border and then bused to small and mid-sized sanctuary cities, place where local authorities have refused to hand over illegal immigrants for deportation. I'm not furry. Stop saying I'm a furry. People are going to think you're legit. The White House told the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement the plan was intended to wait, I'm getting that wrong. A shortage of detention space, but also to serve as a message to Democrats. The attempt at political retribution raised alarm within ICE, with the top official responding that it was rife with bigotry and liable concerns, and noting that there are PR risks as well. To be honest, I don't think there's going to be much of a PR risk at this. Okay, I think Trump's base would love this idea. I really do. I think that Trump's base is going to go absolutely nuts for this. People on the far left are obviously going to lose their shit, which is what they've already done. And people in the center, I don't know, some of them will be against it, some of them will be for it, I suppose. Well, this is the thing. When you get a whole bunch of migrants and you tend to drop them into a city, they tend to stay there. They don't tend to move a lot. So, nice to see some sane news. Yeah, tell me about it, man. With everything that's been going on lately. I feel like playing in traffic. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second, Graph. Trump doubles down on plan to ship migrants to sanctuary cities, saying radical left should be happy. Lombard says Trump's ICE detainee sanctuary city proposal is a great idea. I'm jealous I didn't come up with it. So, Friday on his National Syndicate radio show, conservative talker Rush Limbaugh praised Donald Trump's proposal to release immigration and customs enforcement detainees in so-called sanctuary cities. Trump later acknowledged he was seriously considering the proposal on social media. So it's partial transcript. Holy dilly. That's a partial transcript. Really? Yeah. Okay. But we're just going to say that Rush Limbaugh liked the idea because it's like 5 paragraphs long. Sick and twisted. Liberals flip out over Trump's proposed to drop illegals in sanctuary cities. But I thought they were happy to do that. He's in Florida too. Are you talking about Rush Limbaugh? In Florida? The Trump administration's discussion of a plan to drop illegal immigrants off in sanctuary cities met with unexpected pushback from Thursday from some of the most vocal advocates of laxer immigration laws. It's not really... Okay. Do I think Trump would really do... Oh, Rush. Okay, yeah. Do I really think Trump would do this? Probably not. I don't think he would actually go through with this. What I think this is this is more of a way that Trump can turn around and show the left for being a bunch of hypocrites that they are. So what he's doing is he's turning around saying, hey, you guys want detainees, right? Well, here you go. And then all of a sudden they're turning around saying, oh, no. We don't want them anymore. No. We don't want them. Take them. Oh, no, we don't want them here. And Trump is then going to turn around and say, presumably today sometime, but I thought you guys were open borders and open policies. And he's going to make them look hypocritical because the fact that they go on about sanctuary cities, they go on about all immigrants are welcome, but then at the end of the day, they're not going to take these ones. And that's the thing. Squirrel, man, you don't have to, guys don't have to give me money, man. It's fine. Just type in chat. Yeah. I appreciate it. I do. I really do. But yeah, like guys, I don't do the show for money. I do it for the lols and also because I want to make a change into the world, hopefully for the better. But thank you. I do appreciate it. But yeah, so what I think Trump is doing is he's going through and he's going to show these guys for being a bunch of a bunch of hypocrites, saying, "Hey, look, don't you all want open borders, open security? Well, we're offering them to you, and here you go. You're not doing anything about it. You're not taking these latest immigrants. Why aren't you?" And he's showing them for being a bunch of hypocrites that they are. And that's what he's doing, is he's going through and he's just showing them for being hypocritical. Do I think he would actually do it? Look, push comes to shove, he probably would. But I don't think he's... I think it might have been met in jest, like, yeah, okay, fine, we'll send them all off to sanctuary cities if they want them so bad. And then they lost their mind over him possibly doing this, and now Trump's probably sitting there thinking, well, can we actually send them to sanctuary cities? Because he's probably noticing his base is loving this. It's a distraction from Julian Assange, which let's get this straight, that's what it is. And also, it's a way to show that the left is a bunch of hypocrites. So, at the end of the day, it's a win-win for Trump. It really is. I like the idea. I think he should do it. And I think at the end of the day, that Pelosi is showing her true colours. Because Pelosi is fumes. Pelosi's fumes over the White House plan to release immigration detainees in sanctuary cities. Not only that, but Trump administration wanted to dump illegal immigrants in Pelosi's district. Here you go, Nancy. Have a whole bunch of illegal immigrants that you want so bad. And all that she's seeing at the moment is her house prices crashing. The economy, or her local economy, going down into the gutter. She doesn't know what she is. She doesn't know what she said. Dementia. Yeah, maybe. I think she has a little bit of that. But personally, I think at the end of the day, she's saying this whole immigrant talking point because it's going to help her win votes for the left. And that's what I think this is. This is more of a We're going to win votes via this method, and at the end of the day, I think that that's what it's all about. So, you know, look, at the end of the day, I don't think she actually believes this stuff. So just adjusting the cam. But yeah, I don't think she actually believes this stuff, and at the end of the day, I think she's saying it just to obviously try and win votes. And she's sort of realizing at the moment, like, holy crap, Trump actually might be nuts to do this. You know, if he actually does this, my house prices are going to crash, the local economy is going to crash, it's going to turn into Trash City. I'm going to see a whole bunch of garbage and everything laying around the streets and everything like that. And at the end of the day, she's not going to really want this for her own district. She has no problems giving it to everybody else, but not for her own district. And this is not the first time that we've seen Democratic leaders go through and say this sort of stuff. We've already seen in the past where, you know, they issued I don't think it was a bill, but some sort of rule or something like that. They were talking about taking in migrants into these cities and stuff like that. It was a huge Democrat-held city, and the Democrats were like, "Yep, we'll take the migrants," but then they restricted the area where the migrants could already go, or where they would be dropped off, and it was really weird because all the head Democrats that lived in that area didn't want them in their area. They literally wanted them everywhere but in their area. So it's not the first time we've seen this happen. It won't be the last time we see this happening. And Trump is just bringing this to the national stage to say, hey, look, these are all a bunch of Democrats who supposedly are for open borders, but don't want to actually have the migrants in their city. Why don't you want the migrants in your city? Why? And it's, yeah. Hey, Couplet, how are you, buddy? But Pelosi's Century City policy is unworthy of the presidency of the United States. Okay, but you don't want the migrants yourself, right? So, Friday in Lynchburg, Virginia, I believe it is for VA, the House Democrat Caucus closing press conference. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi reacted to reports that Trump administration considered a plan to release detainee immigrants into sanctuary cities. Pelosi said, "I do not know anything about it, but again, that's another notion that is unworthy of the presidency of the United States and the disrespect for the challenges we face as a country and people to address who we are, a nation of immigrants." Mind you, she doesn't want them in her own district. Oh. But obviously Trump offered to also offered to pardon Homeland Security head if law broken while closing the border. And also Trump must release his tax returns. We'll talk about that in a sec. But yeah, at the end of the day, as for this, I think this is just literally him trolling the left. It's just him going through and just having shots and just saying, hey, you guys are supposedly open borders, right? Well, here you go. Here's a bus full of immigrants. Or illegal immigrants, sorry. And they're like, oh no, we don't want them. No. And yeah. Speaking of Trump, he says he didn't know anything about WikiLeaks. I really hope he doesn't hope he stays on. Okay, so we're pretty much talked about this. So let's talk about WikiLeaks, because it's something I want to talk about too. And obviously, a couple of guys, you brought it up. So as for Trump's comment on WikiLeaks, yes, he said he didn't know anything about WikiLeaks. He was talking about that's an AG thing. That the AG is handling that. He said something about Assange being arrested, but he doesn't really know much about it. Okay, so what I think there is Trump is saying is in the usual way that Trump talks, which you sort of got to try and decode sometimes. I think he's saying is when he doesn't know anything about WikiLeaks, he's talking about the actual arrest. I don't think Trump goes through and... I think the way Trump handles his business is a lot like the way he handles running presidency. He goes through, he's the head honcho, everybody has to respond to or answer to him. But he doesn't actually have a hands-on approach on everything. He delegates for things for people to do certain things. And that is what I think is, at the end of the day, William Barr, who is the guy that's actually doing this, he's the one that's actually handling the situation. Trump has said that in the video. He said that William Barr is handling that. I think William Barr went off and made this deal with Assange, with the UK government to get Assange. I don't think he fully ran all the details past Trump. Maybe he said, you know, we want to bring Assange to the US to face prosecution or whatever. Trump might have been, oh, whatever sort of thing. I'll trust your judgment. But I don't think he knew about the actual dragging him out and everything that happened there and then. And I think it might have been something that he learned about after the fact, or maybe just didn't have the full details on beforehand. As for Assange, I would love to see Trump pardon him, and maybe Trump has something up his sleeve. Maybe. Maybe he's going to pardon Assange if he goes to face jail. Here's the thing, right? Okay, and this is what people don't understand. With these charges that Julian Assange is facing, they're not that serious. What they're getting him on is attempting or conspiracy to computer hack. So, what they're doing is they're basically turning around saying was in the memo or something like that, or in the information that we got, Julian Assange reportedly said something to Bradley Manning, Chelsea Manning now, that curious eyes never run dry, or something like that is all he said, right? Now, the thing you need to ask is, A, is he talking about from a point of view of people that read WikiLeaks? Or is he talking about Chelsea Manning and people who are whistleblowers? Does he mean either of those two groups? Now, if he means that people that read WikiLeaks, who never run dry, meaning are always thirsty for more information, is he trying to tell her that she should go out and actually get more information? That's what they need to prove. They need to prove that. Now, considering the fact that Chelsea Manning has just recently been released from solitary confinement because she wouldn't turn on on Julian, and the only reason they released her was because of the extended time that she was in there. I think she was in solitary confinement for 3 months, which is the most that you can be under there, I think. Then at the end of the day, she is, she's obviously sticking to her guns. She's not going to testify against Julian. To me, this seems like their case is pretty flimsy. It's pretty weak. And if they ever go and stick him in Guantanamo Bay and have like some sort of closed court or anything like that, it's really not going to look good for Trump. And he knows that. And Trump's base will be furious if he tries this shit. And I think Trump knows that. I think Trump knows that more than anybody. And lately, I'm presuming with everything that's been online, I think Trump got that message very loud and clear. So, what I think has happened is they'll drag Julian into these secret courts that they're trying to get him in. He'll have his defendant or his lawyer. They'll try and prove this sort of stuff. I don't think the case is very strong at all, especially without the testimony from Chelsea Manning, Bradley Manning. And I don't think she will testify against Julian if there is anything to testify against. Look, worst case scenario, even if they convict Julian, he's going to get 5 years in jail. At the most. Best case scenario, William Barr turns around to Julian, says, mate, we're going to go after you for these computer conspiracy charges unless you tell us who gave you the DNC hacks. At which point, I hope Julian will turn around and say something along the lines of, the person that hacked the DNC and gave me the emails is dead, and his name was Seth Ridge. If the guy is still alive, obviously I don't want him to be given up. Obviously. But if he is dead, if there is nothing that will actually stop them, or if they can't go after him or anything like that, then to me, that is okay to name. Because they can't charge him with anything, because he's dead. I would have liked Julian to make it very public who the DNC hacker was, because if it's done in a courtroom or whatever it may be, well, then we might naturally hear about it. So that is that's my opinion on it. Look, to be honest, I don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, I'm keeping a very, very close eye on it. I've literally watched everything from the Young Turks to the Blaze, who actually didn't watch the Blaze because they didn't talk about it, interestingly enough. But I watched Phil DeFranco's, I was in Wild Smile's YouTube chat last night when he was talking about it. I was giving him some information that I think he already knew about, but he did talk about it. And obviously I've been in a few people's chats and comments, just basically dropping some crumbs to sort of let people try and work it all out. But because obviously, look, people like Wild Smile or Phil DeFranco or Tim Pool, I've responded to Tim Pool's comment as well as Sargons, I think it was. These guys are obviously a lot bigger than me, so they can obviously go through and they can shed a light more than I can on this. But yeah, that's basically what's happening at the moment. Obviously, if anything happens with regarding Julian, we will obviously keep you up to date. Don't worry. It's something that we are following very closely. So, apart from that, I haven't been reading comments. Is there anything I've missed? Anything else? So what's this about the adultery, McGruff? What's that coming up again? Trump in his filthy ways. Yeah. I don't really care. I don't really care about Trump boning a porn star. I didn't care about Bill Clinton boning Monica in the Oval Office. Actually, at the time, I defended it. I said the world is actually a better place. A better place for Bill Clinton boning Monica Lewinsky than boning the Middle East. So, yeah. Did I hear someone? Oh, no, hello, I heard someone. Yep, here he is. But look, at the end of the day, yeah, I don't have a problem with Trump. Look, what Trump does in and out of his own bed, I don't care. Let's face it, we're not nominating him for Man of the Year. We're nominating him for president. As long as he runs the country, I don't really give two sort of shits about who he does or does not sleep with. So, yeah. I can't seem to be... Alright. Let's chat. Oh, there we go. Hello, Satellite. How are you, buddy? Yeah. Oh, I'm good, man. I'm good. Yeah, sorry. I just realised push to talk was on, and it wasn't push to talk. Yeah. Okay. So, guys, obviously, Satellite has turned up.
How long have you been going for?
Oh, not long. We covered... So, actually, we've only really talked about the first topic because it was kind of huge. What are your thoughts? Trump administration wants to dump illegal immigrants into sanctuary cities.
No, that's real?
Yeah, it is real. And he has later came out and said that he's actually giving it some serious consideration.
Okay, I mean, that's crazy, but it kind of makes sense in a crazy sort of way. I think it's funny hilarious.
Well, the funny thing is at the end of the day, is that what I think he's doing, and this is what I was saying, I think at the end of the day that Trump is showing the left for being a bunch of hypocrites. Because Nancy Pelosi and the left have literally lost their shit over Trump doing this. Like, they are, like, literally flipping out.
Yeah. Well, okay, I mean, that's it. It's showing the hypocrisy.
Yeah.
You know, what would be kind of funny is This is like a historical sort of backflip. It's rather funny.
Hmm.
I don't even think that's the right word. It's like a history repeating itself. I don't remember which South American country it was, but America was criticizing them jailing too many people or treating its citizens terribly. So when he turned around and said, "Fine, you can have them," and America actually said, "Yeah, send them." And I don't remember which city it was, but which country it was. Sorry, but like it was chaos for America when it happened. And I think this would just teach America all over again the same lesson.
Yeah, you think that this might be accelerationism?
In a way, it would be too. In a way, it would be. Like, yeah, because okay, so all of the caravan is at the border, right?
Yeah.
And basically, let's just let them into the sanctuary cities.
Yeah, well, Nancy Pelosi, he wants to put them in Nancy Pelosi's district, among others. Like, he's not talking about just dropping them off in her state, but literally in her district.
Yeah, like, fine. I mean, that's the best thing. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. McGruff, we'll talk about that in a sec. We'll talk about that, McGruff, in a sec if you want. But yeah, like I say, at the end of the day, I think this is just showing the left have been... I think at the end of the day, he might have, been joking about it originally, and then after that was like, okay, well, they've lost their shit over this. This is going to show them to be a bunch of hypocrites. And at the end of the day, let's do it. Like, can we actually do this? Can we actually dump them into a sanctuary city? And not only that, but give them literally to Nancy Pelosi's district. Like, can you imagine what's going to happen to her area? It's going to be they're going to have huge amounts of unemployment. The city is going to become absolutely disgusting to live in. It's going to become filthy. And at the end of the day, it's going to help, obviously, not bankrupt, but it's obviously going to put a huge financial strain on her district. Like, people are going to look at this and go, holy shit, we're Trump's dumping all these illegal immigrants into our district, and it's turning to shit. Like, yeah, this is a win-win.
They want open borders. From my understanding, they want open borders. That's exactly what open borders is.
Yeah, true. Yeah. All right. So McGruff keeps talking about Trump boning the porn stars and stuff like that. My view in this is: look, is Trump perfect? No. Is Trump the better of two options? Yes. Obviously, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, it's fine, man. Look, at the end of the day, you're entitled to your own opinion. Everybody here is allowed their own opinion, and I don't want anybody vilifying anybody for having a different opinion. Debate all you want. But at the end of the day, as for Trump, I don't care about him boning the porn stars because I didn't elect him president, or obviously I didn't do anything, but you guys didn't elect him president because of the fact that he's such a moral, high-standing gentleman. Like, he literally said, you grab him by the... you know what. So at the end of the day, look, I don't think that's sexual assault. He did say in the comments that, you know, that when you're rich and powerful, women let you. So that's proving that it's not sexual assault. Look, does he have character flaws? Sure. Everybody does. If you crawl through everybody's history, everybody's past, then at the end of the day, people will always have characteristics flaws. You know, I've got them, Satellite probably has them, you know, everybody has them, okay? No one's perfect. Is he the better of two options? Sure. Is he a step in the right direction? Sure. Do I like the fact he goes out and bones porn stars? To be honest, I don't care. I really don't care about it. I don't care when Bill Clinton did it. I don't care when Trump does it. And I sure as shit probably won't care when the other presidents do it. Would I like him to be more family orientated and whatnot? Sure. But, you know, hey, like he said, when you're rich and when you're powerful, these sort of women, the porn stars and stuff, they're going to throw themselves at you. And... yeah, like, I really, yeah, I look, I'd like him to obviously not do it, but I don't, yeah, I don't know. I think he's the better of two options, so, yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts on him boning porn stars and whatnot?
Don't care. It's got nothing. It doesn't. It doesn't affect the content of
Presidency.
your brain being able to run a country or not.
Yeah, and look, at the end of the day, I'm trying to make free speech a human right. McGruff, fully get behind you on that, man. Right? Fully thumbs up. Both thumbs up. Like, fully can support that. And I love the fact that you believe that. And that's something that obviously this channel is built around, is free speech. That we've had people in the Discord that we vehemently disagree with. And yeah, we haven't banned anybody from the Discord yet. Like, no one is banned at all. So, yeah. Personally, I agree with the Democrats on open borders. The issue that I have is that they want to give welfare to the immigrants. All that does is attract lazy people. That is true. If you can ask, if I can ask, Caplet, what is your thoughts on why do you support open borders? Is it because of a morality issue, or is it a financial issue, or yeah, let us know in chat, man. What was he? What was done in the past? In the past, he said gold diggers let you. He said gold diggers let you if you're rich as young men. How many private conversations has everyone had like to publish by every? Yeah, like Amy, trust me. Some of the conversations that I've had at work were ever released. Holy shit, the work would look like the biggest bunch of misogynists ever. But that said, also guys at work will open doors for ladies. So if you get enough air quotes and quotes taken out of context, you can make anybody seem like anything. And as far as I know, he's not perfect. So yeah. Open borders, really? How would that even work? Yeah, if you want to have a discussion about it, Caplet, sometime, let me know. If you want to have a civil debate, let us know. We can talk about it sometime. But anyway,
seems like it's pretty busy. How many viewers you got today?
It's hanging around 9 to 11. So,
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Alright, so let's jump on to the next topic. So Trump must release his tax returns or be barred from state's 2020 election ballot. Illinois state votes. If you've got nothing to hide, you shouldn't worry about anything, Senate says. Donald Trump will have to release 5 years of tax returns if he wants to appear on the Illinois 2020 presidential ballot. The state Senate has ruled. The bill, which still requires approval by Prair's State House of Representatives, comes amid a growing row in Washington over Trump's unprecedented refusal to make publicly available his income tax returns. The U.S. Treasury ignored a congressional deadline to release the documents early this week. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin claimed the request by the House Ways and Means Committee was politically motivated, which it was. Mr. Trump himself has claimed that he cannot release his tax return because they are under audit. Although technically there is nothing preventing him from doing so, says The Independent, which is not really independent. The bill would need to be signed into law by Democrat Governor Robert Pretzritz, which is likely to happen. If passed through the House, which is also controlled by Mr. Trump's political rivals, Mr. Pretzritz has to take the public stance on the issue. Okay.
So everyone would have to do it in Illinois, huh?
Yeah, and then I don't know how that would actually work. Can they actually bar him from the state elections?
I don't think so.
No, I would say this is against policy. And let's admit the fact that, as far as I know, Bernie Sanders still hasn't released his yet. So
it's I just laugh at these things, but don't think for a minute they won't actually do it, because look at California. California has multiple laws that are unconstitutional, and yet they still enforce these unconstitutional laws.
Maybe.
So,
but we're talking about elections here. We're not talking.
I know. But hey, the Constitution is probably just as huge as an election, right?
Well, yeah, but look, at the end of the day, even them going against the Constitution and stuff is causing pushback and stuff like that. Let alone literally barring like a president for competing in a upcoming election. Like, that's even worse than going against the Constitution.
Well, yeah, I mean, what California's doing is taking something from above and pushing down on an unconstitutional law. Illinois thinks that somehow they can punch up to the federal election. I mean, that probably seems ridiculous, yeah.
Caplet, yeah, if you want, man, I'll talk to you later about it. We'll do something over the weekend or something if you want to have a debate. Me, you, and Salat, you can moderate if you want.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty good moderator, I think.
Yeah. And that way, yeah, obviously, yeah, it would just be a discussion about it. It's not going to be a screaming match or anything, man. It's all pretty chilled. So yeah, that's the stuff I like, hearing different opinions. So yeah, we can talk about it if you want. I'm in your Discord, so I'll hit you up later about it. On the tax returns thing, while he can release them under audit, any lawyer worth their salt would advise him not to. It's just leftists trying to avoid the Russia collusion embarrassment. That's true. And I think they're actually hoping that if they go through his tax returns, they will find something that they can use to impeach him. Because of this Russia narrative falling apart, they need something else. They've realised they've probably left their shot too long. And I don't think it was going to work in the first place, but in their mind. And at the end of the day, they should have, in their minds, they probably should have done something sooner, because now this whole narrative is literally falling apart. They actually believe, this is all my opinion, I think they actually believed there was Russia collusion and that Mueller would find something, and that now Mueller hasn't. This has sort of caused them to be on the defensive, because holy shit, our hopes of Mueller finding something have come back negative. We need something to get rid of him. He's about to run in 2020. He looks like he's going to win again, but don't get complacent. And I think at the end of the day, I think they're looking for something to get rid of Trump, because they need him gone. Because he's literally Orange Man bad. But yeah. But yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Orange Man bad. Yeah. And acting like actual NPCs.
Yeah, and like I say, I think at the end of the day, I think this is just a distraction. We need something. Orange Man bad. We can't get rid of him. So, yeah. But at the end of the day...
Well, I don't know. Maybe they could follow some of their own advice. What Bugs Bunny used to say. If you can't beat him, join him.
Well, we don't want that, because they might actually win the election.
Oh, well... No, I mean, like, join him as in, like, just, like, be Trump supporters.
Oh, God, they would never do that. Can you imagine the derangement that would take place among the progressives if Nancy Pelosi said, well, we can't beat Trump, so we're going to join him. Holy shit. AOC and all that would lose their shit.
Yeah. She might get angry enough that... never mind. It's just, like, she might get angry enough that she'll explode.
McGrath says in chat, I never hate Trump. I think he's stopgap for the left taking over. I think he's a good. I think he's a good way to, a good step forward. And obviously, I think he is a good stopgap from like Hillary and stuff taking over. But yeah, Hillary, like Amy says, consider what the alternative was. Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine Hillary? And look, at the end of the day, I think he's done a lot of good. And I think they've done a lot of good stuff. He's done a lot of good stuff, like with the economy and stuff like that. So I'm not upset that he lost from an outsider's point of view. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think it's literally, look, I think he's done a good job. Is he perfect? No. Does he have some character flaws? Sure. Has he done anything recently regarding the porn stars and stuff? Not as far as we know. As far as I know, he's pretty good as a father figure and stuff like that. So, Gruff says, I hope he wins 2020. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. The question is, after 2020, 2024, who do you get to run then? Like, Donnie Jr. maybe? Would Johnny Jr. be old enough? How old is Donald Jr.? Donnie Jr. at the moment. Jesus Christ, he has 5 kids, Johnny Jr. He's currently at the moment age 41. He can run. He only has to be 35, so he's old enough. So, what do you reckon? Donald Trump 2020, Donnie Jr. 24 and 28.
Sure, I don't know anything about this Donnie Jr. Don't know anything at all.
Yeah, it's Donald Trump's son. He's
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's been groomed, I think. He's getting up, he's making speeches, he's been very vocal lately, and I think it's a sort of a precursor to him running in 2024.
Yeah, cool.
Mm.
Yeah, that's
No, he's Caplet.
no,
Have a good
16
night,
years of Trump.
No, he's Caplet. Have a good night, buddy. Enjoy yourself. I'll talk to you later. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think that's obviously, yeah, I don't know, I could think of worse things to do. So, yeah.
All
right. Sorry. No. Okay. All right.
Huh?
No. Sorry. I thought you were going to say something, and I accidentally cut you off. All right. Let's talk about Georgetown. This is probably going to make your blood boil a little bit, but let's jump into it. Georgetown students vote overwhelmingly in favour of a $27 fee for slave reparations.
Well then.
I don't think Squirrel's leaving, Amy. I think it's just Couplet for now, I think. Georgetown University could become the first college in the nation to mandate a fee to benefit descendants of slaves sold by the university nearly 200 years ago. The debate takes place against the backdrop of a broader political conversation unfolding on the 2020 presidential campaign trail about reparations. By almost a 2-to-1 margin, so it's not really overwhelming, was it? Well, I suppose technically. Students approved the measure, which still must be approved by the university to go into effect. The school's undergrads voted Thursday on the referendum, which would increase tuition by $27.20 per semester to create a fund benefiting descendants of the 272 slaves sold to pay off Georgetown Junior's debt, a move that saved the university financially. Todd Olson, a vice president for the student affairs of Georgetown University, in a statement issued after the vote, lauded the students' efforts, saying, "University values the encouragement of our students and appreciates that 3,845 students made their voices heard in yesterday's election. Our students are contributing to an important nation conversation, and we share their committed to addressing Georgetown history with slavery. The university has vowed to carefully review the results of the referendum, and regardless of the outcome, will remain committed to engaging with students, descendants of the border Georgetown community, and addressing its historical relationship to slavery." Matt Hill, the university media relations manager, told the ABC in a statement. "The census sold my family and 40 others so that you could be here." Stephmore Lesman Short Combe, whatever that name is, a Georgetown student, said in a town hall discussion issued last week. One of the 4 students currently attending the university under administration policy that considers the descendants of the 272 as legacy students. Thoughts and opinions?
It's crazy. 200 years ago, you can't. No, just no. There's no one alive today that can pay anything or do anything about it.
And this is the thing. Okay, so even say That's true, right? Even say that there's no one alive at the moment, and just using you as a... And I'm not disagreeing with you, but just saying, right? Is this university use this idea, or these ideas of reparations and slavery, sorry, as a way of saving the university financially, right? So my question is this. Why should these students pay for something that the university did?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point, too. Like, I mean, if the university does still exist...
Which it does, yeah.
Then I suppose the university itself as an entity, I suppose, could pay the reparations itself out of its own account.
And I'm against the reparations in the first place. I think it doesn't solve any problems. Also, at the end of the day, the question you have to ask too is these reparations and everything that they want to charge, or that they want to make money off, or whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, the question is this: is A, well, what's this going to help? What's this going to do? And B, what about things like already, for example, affirmative action? Isn't that supposed to be against, like, taking some of the side effects of this slavery and everything like that? Isn't that what affirmative action is? It's like, hey, we wronged you in the past, so to speak. We're going to obviously give you a help up so that you and your families and whatnot can be educated and be a pillar of society, right? They literally get special treatment because of the past. So what's the difference between that and why are we doing reparations as well as that? Why aren't we just doing one or the other? How much do we have to give is my question before we've atoned for past actions?
I don't think enough is ever enough. That's one of the slippery slopes with these reparations arguments, is that I guess it's never enough. No, like they just keep on saying, like, it's like when you do something wrong, and then they tell you to apologize, and then you apologize, and they say, no, you didn't apologize. What good enough?
No, yeah,
it's the same sort of thing.
Which the left do at a very common thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
South America had more slaves than the USA. True. Why aren't we going through and actually going through, and why aren't we charging the? Why aren't the South Americans paying? Well, here's the question too.
Because
how far back?
The South Americans aren't self-hating.
Well, that's the thing too. And here's the thing too. Here's another question for you. Egyptian times, they had slaves. Are we supposed to go over to Cairo now and say, hey, look at these great pyramids that our ancestors built? We want money. Do you reckon that would fly?
No, there's actually some pretty horrible things that other cultures have done, worse than slavery, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And they just don't pay nothing. They don't say sorry, nothing.
Yeah.
Because they're just not self-hating. They just go, well, bugger off. Like, we don't care what you think. And they just continue on with their lives. For some reason, Europeans they're subject to this self-hating thing. It's unreal. We really need to get over it.
Amy says in chat, what about the Irish, my dad's side, who were slaves here in Jamaica? Irish were slaves and bootstrapped up anyway. Yeah, what about the Irish?
Yeah.
Well, how much are we supposed to give? And then what about the Irish? What about the Egyptians? What about Jesus Christ, the religion or the Egyptian government? How much do we have to charge them for building their pyramids?
Well, Germany pays reparations because of what they did to the Jewish.
Right.
But I don't see anyone paying reparations for the Armenian genocide.
True. Or
I don't see anyone paying for the Holodomor in the Ukraine, I believe that was. So, yeah, it's very one-sided.
Or what about like Genghis Khan?
Yeah.
How many people did he
Let's
enslave?
Yeah, let's just eliminate this whole concept of reparations and move forward.
Yeah.
Because all it does is continue to victimize people. It's bad. It's bad. People who are suffering mentally, they're not going to get over it if you keep paying them reparations.
True. Hello, Eric. How are you, buddy? And yeah, and at the end of the day, it also keeps people, like you say, in the past. People will never move on as long as they have this constantly brought up, and as long as they constantly be a victim. And to steal a quote for Candace Owens, you know, be a victor, not a victim.
Yep.
And it seems like chat is pretty much agreeing with us that this whole reparations thing is a lot of crap, but yeah, but I don't know. Look, at the end of the day, yeah, obviously, yeah, and I don't know how this is going to go for the university if the university tries to bring this in. Could this be a case of Georgetown University gets what goes broke?
If Georgetown goes broke and shuts down, that's an ironic thing. That having to pay for the debt, having to pay for the sold slaves to keep Georgetown alive by the descendants of those slaves, then actually destroyed what those slaves were sold for.
Because
that's crazy.
Because they said back then that they brought in the slaves to obviously go through and to help it financially. It seemed like it was in a lot of trouble back then. But students at Georgetown University passed a referendum this week. So slaves at Georgetown University sold in 1838. So it was over 200 years ago. It was like 250 something years ago. Over 2/3 of those. Sorry.
Let's just get rid of this whole thing. By the way, why are the students running the farm?
Yeah, why is the when did the nutcases take over the asylum is what you're asking? Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
And obviously, look, I would say Georgetown. I would say that it's probably very left leaning.
Sorry for interrupting you. Continue with the story.
No, that's fine. It's pretty much done anyway. We pretty much already covered it. Georgetown University. It's a private research institute in the Georgetown neighborhood of Washington, D.C. So, I imagine it's very left-leaning. So, yeah. I don't know. Anyway, always, and what a struggle, and what a strategy it is, Squirrel. Divide and conquer. Yeah, true. MSN wants that. Yeah, true. Yeah, I would say it's a yeah, keep people fighting amongst themselves, arguing over things like reparations. It's not going to solve anything. It won't solve any issues. It's just divide and conquer. Alright, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 topics left. So we'll probably shoot through these ones pretty quick because they're pretty small. Kamala Harris says she owns a gun. Meanwhile, she wants to ban them. More left-wing hypocrites. California Democrat Senator Kamala Harris said that she owns a gun for personal safety Thursday, adding she wants to protect the Second Amendment after lending efforts to ban assault weapons. I am a gun owner. I own a gun for probably the reason a lot of people do, for personal safety, Harris told reporters after attending a party with supporters in Des Moines, Iowa. According to Business Insider, I was a career prosecutor. Seems like she's saying good guys with guns win out. The 2020 hopeful said that she believes that she can solve gun control issues, mentioning a lack of leadership. We're being offered a false choice, Harris continued. You're either in favour of the Second Amendment or you want to take everyone's gun away. It's a false choice that was born out of lack of courage from leaders who must recognise and agree that there are some practical solutions to what clearly problem in our country. So Harris was...
Yeah, well, she's talking about the difference between having a handgun and an assault rifle.
Yeah. So Harris was
But the thing is AR-15s are not assault rifles. No. They're not assault weapons.
No.
Harris was the Attorney General of California from 2011 to 2017 before being elected to the Senate. She now hopes to take on Trump in 2020 election, but will have to go through a crowded Democratic primary first. Here's the question. Do you think that she is trying to appease to or play to the more center-left?
I'm not sure. Yeah, that's possible. Because she's trying to play both sides by what she's saying.
Mm. Yeah. So at the end of the day, look, obviously with this, it's... I would say at the end of the day, this is a strat. This is a strategy for her winning in 2020. Look, does she probably believe it? Probably. But she's realised that the Democratic side is very crowded, it's very far left, and it's not very popular.
I think something that a lot of these people don't understand. I actually recently heard a bunch of things about guns, and I know you probably have a lot more experience than I do, so correct me if I'm wrong, but if you have, say you have the choice between 3 weapons, or even just 1 weapon, but it has 3 firing modes, whatever, right?
Right.
Full auto is super wasteful on the ammo, and you'll actually cause less damage overall if you go into a mass shooting.
True.
If you use burst fire, you're likely to just jam the gun. And if you have single shot mode, that's the most damaging because it only takes like 1 bullet on average to kill people or maim them. And it won't jam the gun. You'll last longer.
So if I was to become a crowd shooter, and full disclosure, I'm not, before anybody goes taking that clip
He's not going to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I was in that situation, then I would use probably semi-automatic, to be honest.
Single shot, yeah. Or semi-automatic, yeah.
Semi-automatic, yeah. So single shot is shot, reload, shot, reload, shot, reload. Semi-automatic is pull the trigger once, it fires a bullet. The reason why I would use that is because I wouldn't have to worry about reloading, and it would be more efficient. But that said, and like I said, full disclosure, I'm not doing this right-wing watch before you go taking this clip out of context. But that said, no, I would not use full automatic. It would be a complete waste of bullets and ammo.
For the nooblets like me, when I say single shot, I'm talking about how you pull the trigger and you have 12 in the mag. In the mag, and you can basically just pull the trigger 12 times in a row, but it's single firing each time. Am I wrong there?
Yeah. So single shot is where you actually have to go through, and where you go through and will, so single shot is shot reload, shot reload, shot reload sort of thing.
Yeah. Semi-automatic, it actually self-reloads out of a magazine. Okay, I get it. Yeah. So the thing is that the point of this, if you're wondering, is these people want to ban assault rifles. The thing is that assault rifles, by definition, are supposed to be full automatic guns, like your Steyr AUG or your Colt, like the Colt, like what the military use over in America, So they're trying to ban completely the wrong thing. And then I'm thinking, they're literally writing that into the law, though. They're saying it's assault rifles.
Yeah.
Does that mean that the left also is actually just placating to the masses who don't actually know anything about guns? And then they're not actually changing any laws at all? They're also in favor of guns?
So, assault rifle, the actual definition, according to Merriam-Webster, is a various intermittent range, magazine-fed military rifle, such as an AK-47, that can be set for automatic or semi-automatic fire. So
it does include AR-15s, for example. Okay.
It would technically include an AR-15, maybe? It does say something about intermittent range and magazine-fed military. I don't think the AR-15 is a military rifle, though. I think that's where it's not.
It's
Yeah.
not, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. You could play on the words
Yeah.
and then sort of accuse the left, who are all about this gun control, ban assault rifles, are actually just doing nothing while saying a lot. Typical politician talk.
So AR does not stand for assault rifle. Misinformation is everywhere.
Yeah, I know. I know, it's the brand.
What the
I
hell?
believe AR is the
Was
brand.
that someone's speakers as he drove past? Jesus Christ, he vibrated the house. Misinformation is everywhere. It's even more pervasive and dangerous when people don't understand what it is to truly teach each other about what they are and what they are. Assault rifle. Every time is a trick murder involving firearms. Feel the need to share their opinions about guns. More often than not, these talking heads know nothing about the subjects. Alright, so AR and AR-15 is assumed to mean assault rifle. It does not, period. It's just Piers Morgan's ARPA said it stands for. It doesn't mean they are right. AR comes from the firearms manufacturer Armalite. Those letters are used for standard naming practices for their firearm, just like F for the Ford, the F-150. The AR-15...
Yeah. I knew that AR was a brand of some sort.
Armalite. Armalite. So I don't know that the AR means anything more than the firing mode. Okay. So what is an assault rifle? Now that's a smart question. Assault rifle is a rifle that has a selectable firing mode. So that means it has to be between semi and auto, maybe? Can fire full automatic modes. So, it has to be able to fire in full automatic mode by the sounds before it can actually be...
If he's right, my accusation stands on two legs. That the left politicians fully believe in the Second Amendment, and they're just writing laws that sound good but do nothing against actual gun ownership. They are hypocrites of the highest degree.
Well,
they're lying to people.
Here's the question, right? At the end of the day, are they lying to people, or are they deliberately misleading people because they secretly want to ban all guns?
Well, no. If banning assault weapons would literally do absolutely nothing, because I think very few people in America actually have full automatic weapons. Very, very few. The 90% plus of the guns are going to be mostly small sidearms and those things like AR-15s, things like that, like semi-automatics. So banning assault rifles, if that's how they're writing it in the law, which I think they are, it's doing nothing. It's feel good. It's feel good politics.
Yeah, and that's what 76 says in chat. Paint it black, add a strap, boom, assault rifle, lefty.
That's pretty funny.
He's right though. That's what they think. Paint it black, add a strap, and damn, it's all now of a sudden it's a more powerful weapon. And obviously the thing is too is like we had that clip with I think it was CNN. They went to a range to explain what assault rifle was, and they had someone from the gun range, I think it was, and he had the complete definitions wrong. And I'm like, you work in a gun range, from my understanding. How did you get this wrong? And the only thing I can put this down to is that this is a guy who's deliberately lied. If this guy, if I'm right, if this guy works in a rifle range, right? There's no way in hell he thought that was the real definition. He knew that was wrong. And he's gone through and lied.
Yeah. My argument is kind of like a white pilling argument. It's like trying to say that the left-wing politicians who want to ban guns are actually they're engaging in a misinformation campaign so that they don't actually have to do anything, and they just placate these teenagers running around asking for change.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a white pilling argument. It's like, they're not really wanting to actually do that.
But anyway.
I don't know.
Yeah, let's probably keep going. James Coomey has never thought of election surveillance as spying. Spying's not spying now? apparently. Interesting. Former FBI Director James Comey contended Thursday that the election surveillance of individuals really doesn't amount to spying, as Attorney General William Barr suggested during a congressional hearing this week. Comey told CNN he doesn't know what Barr is talking about when he's talking about spying on the Trump campaign. What are you talking about? We didn't spy on them, we just surveilled them. You know, okay, we'll see how that works when it comes to China sort of accusing our spying agency of surveilling people. You know, China, oh, we're not spying on you, we're just surveilling you. Like, really? This is like the good old, you know, Clapper getting up in front of the was it the Congress or House Committee or whatever it was. Like, does America collect information on people? No. Then, like, 5-10 years later, after we found out from, thanks to Snowden, about everything about, for example, what they were actually doing, I misunderstood the question. What? What exactly did you misunderstand? Does the American government spy on its And they asked him twice, and he's like, no. And he's like, I didn't understand the question. What do you mean you didn't understand the freaking question? It's simple.
Well, let me ask you this, right? This is pretty funny. What if I was to break into your house while you're at work, attach a tool that is for spying on you, and then I have it save all the data on a hard drive in my house off my server, but I have no intentions of actually looking at the data unless you did something wrong. Is that spying? Because if I never look at the data, I still don't know anything.
Yes, technically it is spying.
Yeah. It's good. See, the America
by the way, guys,
have, like...
By the way, guys, I'm just going to go and do a quick sweep of my house right now, so just give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's just a hypothetical question, and it's rooted in a reality, because America is doing full take, which is unconstitutional.
Yeah.
Europe does full take, but they can't. Australia does only metadata.
Yeah.
But the thing is, all these countries, all they're doing is sweeping the data, storing it, and then they just have algorithms that look for keywords. There's never a person who's actually sitting there going, like, scrolling through your emails, you know? But I think it's still spying by some definition.
Yeah.
You can't really... Like, he's probably half right, half wrong. They're not spying, they're just storing the data. Yeah, but they went through the data anyway. So the Trip says in chat, incognito observations. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. It's not spying if the FBI does it from Squirrel. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Let me ask you this question, right? If I was to go into Obama's house, and I'm not going to, but I'm just saying as a hypothetical, right? Thought experiment. If I was to go into Obama's house and start recording everything he does, and then I was to then give that information to Donald Trump when Trump runs in 2020, if Obama was the contender, would you consider that spying? It's not just spying. It's oh boy, I think it breaks several laws. Yeah, spying included.
And what do you think Obama would want happen to me?
Oh boy. Yeah. You go to they send you to Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah, I'd be having a cell next to Julian Assange. But like I say, look, at the end of the day, yeah, it's a case of, can you imagine anybody else doing this and what would happen to them? And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, Kumi, but you're full of shit, and you're backpedaling because your hand's been caught in the cookie jar. It's a case of literally someone has been caught with a hand in the cookie jar, and then they're turning around saying, I'm not stealing the cookies, I'm just socially requiring them. You know, I'm just socially donating them to myself, or some shit like that. It's like, no, you're stealing the effing cookies. Like, yeah. I don't know. Thoughts, opinions?
Yeah. No, it's my thoughts, opinions on, just remember that when you send an email or text message, the likelihood that actually someone does read it is extremely low because of and I'm not defending it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not defending it. This shouldn't be happening at all. However, the information is of such a grand degree. It's big data, as they call it. There's not enough people on the planet to go through it and see everything. In fact, it's a very small percentage. So, yeah, they spy, but they have to use huge AIs just to find small portions of data to catch people doing bad things.
And also, let's face it too, no spy agency, and sorry, not spying. Sorry, what does Kumi call it? Surveillance agencies have gone through and have proven that anything that they've recorded has been used to stop a terrorist attack.
No, that's actually true. The detection rate from these surveillance systems has actually been close to 0%. Yeah. Actual investigations through informants has actually been most of it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't know about the data from Australia, because Australia has foiled some terrorist attacks.
But how much of that is
and
through
I don't
tips?
know. Yeah, I believe they were through tips. That's true. Yeah, so our metadata laws are probably doing nothing either. It costs billions of dollars a year to run these servers. Yeah.
Yeah, and look, I think Kumi's trying to weasel his way out of this because he knows he's been caught. He knows that he's in shit, and this is him sort of backpedaling on it.
Yeah.
A spy is a spy is a spy. That's a good point. Let's keep going. Alexandria Cortez faces backlash for scoffing the veteran Dan Crenshaw should go do something about terrorism. I think he already did. That's why he lost. He's literally done 2 or 3 terms. Like, are you stupid? The New York Congresswoman Alexandria Cortez is facing backlash for telling Representative Dan Crenshaw, a wounded vet who wears the eye patch, in case you're wondering who he was, to go do something about terrorism. Crenshaw is a U.S. Army veteran of Afghanistan and lost an eye in battle, Fox reported. Alexandria Cortez stuck her foot in her mouth, defending virulent anti-Semite Minnesota Representative Ella Maha, who Crenshaw criticized her for outrageous comments about the terrorist attack on 9/11. So obviously, in case you don't know what's going on with the whole 11 thing, she basically came out and said it was no real big thing. Omar was seen on video brazenly noting that September 11, 2011, some people did something, and that caused Muslims to be the victim of discrimination. Crenshaw was aghast over Omar's characteristic of the brutal terror attack as merely some people did something. The Texas Republican jumped to his Twitter account on April 9th to slam Omar, saying first member of Congress to ever describe terrorists who killed thousands of Americans on 9/11 as some person or some people who did something. Unbelievable. And I think he has a point. Thoughts, opinions?
No, I don't have much on that one, actually.
Look, at the end of the day, I think she's downplaying it because she's Muslim. I think
it's possible.
Yeah. It's like, it's a case of, well, yeah, it made us look bad, so we're going to try and downplay it. It's been, 15 years, let's downplay it and let's try and, yeah. But, to be honest, look, regardless of what you think of the September 11 towers, I think at the end of the day, I think it was disgusting what happened. That thousands of people died. I think it's a huge tragedy, regardless of who might or might not be responsible. But obviously, anti-Semitic Omar trying to rewrite history of 9/11. So in an anti-Semitic trying to rewrite the history of September 11, the 2001 Islamic terrorist attacks, offering her remarks in Friday interview on Sirius Daily with Alex Murrow. Omar political views on what she described as a growing embarrassment for socialism. It's stunning to me, said Shinzi, that the whole combination of perspectives and viewpoints that you find among the freshman Democrats who are socialists, you get the views that we're seeing, that really horrific views of Representative Omar, both the anti-Semitism as well as she said a couple of days about 9/11. Look, the anti-Semitism thing I don't think is a major thing when it comes to what she's talking about here. Obviously, that's something that's obviously she said in the past. Regardless of what you think about her with her comments regarding that, I think her comments on the 9/11 are disgusting. And this is sort of what I was going on about a few weeks ago, when I turned around and I said that her comments regarding Islam and the Jewish state and Israel donating money, is that at the end of the day, it's based on anti-Semitism because of her previous heritage. She's Muslim. Like, oh my God, Muslims having problems with Jews. Who would have thought?
I think that's the biggest thing. This influx of Muslims into politics is just going to cause so much friction with a lot of the Jewish people that are already there, because they just hate each other. They have
not just
thousands of years of hatred.
Not just the Jewish people that are there, but also the people that are pro-Israel, for example.
Oh yeah, true. Non-Jewish Zionists absolutely will also get attacked. Yeah.
But here's the thing, right? She went on, and I've done some research into this, and this is something I haven't had a chance to talk to you about. She went on about people lobbying Israel, lobbying for the U.S. Congress, right? You know who her biggest backer is?
No.
Khan.
Oh, okay.
In case anybody doesn't know, Khan, C-A-I-N, I believe it is the Muslim lobbying group.
Oh, you mean CARE?
Care. Yeah.
Yeah, CARE.
Yeah. Just putting that out there. The person complaining about lobbying is literally being paid by a lobbying group.
Oh boy.
Yeah. This video is demonetized for sure. New York Democrats kill bill for tradition for Gold Star families, pass tuition for illegals instead. Democrats in New York, and this will be the last story for the day, guys. Democrats in New York killed a proposal for tuition assistance of children of veterans killed in battle and instead approved a bill to give illegals free tuition. New York Representative Party slammed the Democrats on Twitter, saying Democrats just rejected tuition assistance for Gold Star families, but approved it for illegal immigrants. Would a Democrat dare to look into the eyes of the children of a fallen serviceman and woman and a matter less than illegals? I find this absolutely disgusting. These people have literally gone to fight for their country, and they are being rejected tuition fees or graduation or whatever it may be, because of they're giving it to the illegals instead. Like, these are war vets. These are people that have died in war. These are people who have died in war, and their kids wants to go to college, and their tuition has been silenced. And not only that, but it's been given to illegals instead. Like, this is frigging joke. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely insane. But
yeah,
like Amy says, it's disrespectful. It really, really is. So, yeah, I don't know. Thoughts, opinions before we wrap up?
It's treasonous.
Well,
it's like disrespectful, treasonous, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
I wouldn't say treasonous, but yeah, it's definitely disrespectful. But yeah, but like giving it to like illegal immigrants and stuff like that. And look, obviously this is New York Democrats. Is anybody freaking surprised? But they like, you know, like, but like I say, look, it's yeah, like Amy says in chat. But I'm sorry, but anyone who votes for these idiots now, you have no excuse. Yeah, like these are war vets. These are people that gave their life to literally protect the country, and their kids can't even go to college because, well, we're going to give it to the immigrants instead.
Yeah, I see anything where if you take a resource that's generated by the country, then give it to a foreign person or country, that I see that as actual treason.
Yeah.
It does apply to foreign aid. Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't want to end up being on the front cover of Right Wing Watch because we're misleading people. That's all. So we've got to be careful. But yeah.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd rather err on. Yeah, and I do agree with you that it is very, at the very least, disgusting. I don't know if it's treason, but look, that's obviously a discussion that we can have at a later date. But yeah, I would say it's, at the very least, it is absolutely disgusting. It is fucking disrespectful. It really is. So yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think at the end of the day, it's yeah.
Well, you have to remember too that these are the kind of people that see the war itself as some kind of injustice.
Yeah.
And thus see the soldiers themselves in a disgusting light, and they never gave respect to the veterans in the first place.
Actually, Amy's talking
the
about
hippies that used to, yeah.
Amy's talking about the black hole. There's been a bit of a development regarding that.
Right.
Do you have time for another story?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay. So, something that I mentioned yesterday, and I really should go with my gut instincts. So, basically, you've all heard about the black hole, right? The first photo of the black hole. But yeah, there's been a bit of a development.
Just as a side thing, I'm not a flat earther, but I actually watched all of the information about this thing on a flat earther podcast.
Alright, so the mainstream media went through and talked about this black hole, right? Big news yesterday. Black hole! You know, confirmed theories, scientific discoveries, you know, blah, blah, blah. Went on about, you know, about all this lovely information regarding this black hole and everything like that. And, of course, the media went to the opportunity to go through and to give credit to this 29-year-old woman who supposedly develops this computer algorithm. Right, here she is here. Katie Bowman, the 29-year-old remarkable woman who showed the world the black hole. Well, apparently she didn't. Not really. So, yeah. Another Gamergate style thing. The scientist Katie Bowman herself was quickly to point out that she was no means solely responsible for the discovery. And not only that, but her computer algorithm that they've literally said in these articles, guess what? Wasn't actually used.
Wow. And the scientist herself is actually pointing it out.
So she's turning around saying, I'm not solely responsible. It was a team effort and everything like that. But the algorithm wasn't actually used. So there was a photo yesterday that went through, and it was showing her with all the information regarding, like, her with all the hard drives and everything like that. And this is, you know, this is her algorithm. Her algorithm did this and all this sort of stuff. Well, no, actually it didn't, because they didn't actually use it. So what actually happened was Yes, she did come up with an algorithm herself. Yes, obviously she played a role in the incident and in the actual scientific discovery. But even the media now is trying to backtrack. For example, you have this. And of course, people like Now This are trying to push the narrative. But
it's part of the problem is they live in a bubble, and they think that all women would like be like this, and they're clearly being slapped down by this scientist who's just like, nah, don't put your identity politics here, please. Not your shield, you know?
Yeah, so this is the question that I have, is at the end of the day, right, was this a case of them trying to lift her up because she's a woman?
Yeah, and she went over power of it. It's great.
So, she has pointed out herself, and I actually have the post. This is from her herself. Not only are the bunch of fake Katie Bowman and Instagram's account now, but they're spreading lies about her college writing most of the code, supposedly. But yeah, people are claiming that she didn't write the code. And obviously people in Gamergate left-wing groups are trying to claim that it's fake. But even her herself has come out and said, no, the algorithm apparently wasn't actually used. There is a big controversy over this at the moment. And it's really interesting to find out. And people are starting to look, and this reminds me of that. Remember that guy that claimed that he was a girl who tried to get into the gaming group for females? Happened a few months ago.
No, but go on.
There was a guy who pretended to be a woman to get onto the female gaming team, and the guys on Reddit actually went through and tried to claim that it was actually a guy pretending to be a woman, and they literally listed the guy because of the playing style. They turned around and said that it was the playing style of the Punisher, I think it was, or something like that. Anyway, the media tore these guys apart.
I remember that. Yeah,
media tore them.
I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So the media tore these guys apart, claiming they were misogynist, they were sexist, and everything along those lines. And then it ended up being that it was actually true. It was not only was it a guy pretending to be a female in the gaming company or in the gaming group, but it was actually Punisher. They were actually right, not only on the fact that it was a male pretending to be a female, but it was actually the guy they said it was.
Yeah, and it also involved Overwatch itself. I think.
It was Overwatch.
It was the elite. Yeah, the elite tournaments. The high level ones. Yeah.
Yeah. So Reddit is currently on this at the moment. I'll see if I can find the thing about. I'll just do a very quick search on. If I search for a name, it should come up, right? Search for Reddit. I think it was on conspiracies. Unpopular opinion. Here it is. Here. So, mainstream media misrepresented the credit for the black hole image, and it's not Katie Bowman's fault. So obviously we're not saying it is. But Katie Bowman did not invent the algorithm. Multiple people are cited on her limited proof of concepts thesis that applied to an algorithm that already existed. The actual research and development of the practical application of this technology, as well as developed from the algorithm itself, was done by a huge team of researchers, not Katie Bowman. And they've got links here. I will put a link. Actually, I'm going to post this in chat.
and you guys can check it for yourselves. But the primary research that led the possibility of the image of the black hole, notice that the researchers cite Andrew Charles, EHT Image Library. The guy wrote 850,000 lines of code. Apparently he wrote 850 out of 900,000. So she wrote 50,000 lines of code. Katie Bowman did not lead or manage anything. They are the directors of the managers' affiliates. Katie Bowman does not deserve 150, 10, 25, 10%, 5, or even 1% of the credit. There's so many people involved that made far more significant contributions, like Andrew Chow developing the EHT library imaging library. So even Katie Bowman has come out and said publicly that everyone else deserves credit too. The media, by falsely attributing the main work exclusively to Bowman, has actually defamed her because it looks like she's trying to claim all the credit when she's really not. So, yeah, this is
their ideology might actually hurt her career.
Yeah, well, yeah. And at the moment, this is really big at the moment, and we're probably going to extract this part of the audio for probably different... Actually, we might redo this story and I'll record it. I don't know. But look, at the end of the day, yeah. It's... Look, I'm not saying she doesn't deserve some of the credit. She does. Right? She was a part of the team. But I find it really interesting that the mainstream media was going on about her with this, and was going on about, look, meet the girl who made the algorithm. Well, really she didn't, okay? Really, she made 50,000 lines of code out of the 900,000. The other 850 was made by this Andrew Chow. So, like, I believe that this is them trying to prop her up because the woman, she's a woman. Yeah. And like, people have got links here to, like, all this stuff. Like, this is all the links. Like, if I click on this sort of stuff, like, you know, I'll bring it up. Like, this is actual PDF documents. Like, yeah, wait for it. Here. Like, here's the thesis paper. Like, here it is here. Literally here. Like, what else do you need to know? And like, here's the names here. Here's all the names here, right up here. Like, I don't know, but I don't know, guys. We'll probably redo this story and re-upload it because it's not getting the traction, and it's a big talking point right now. And it's something that obviously we need to crack the record on. And but yeah, let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Apart from that, guys, I'm going to jump off and talk to Seth, see if he wants to redo this story. But yeah, apart from that, guys, obviously, look, thanks to everybody who tuned in for the story today. Obviously, big shout out to everybody who stayed, who was in the whole time. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, yeah, well, obviously we'll be back on Monday for the Americans, Tuesday for the Aussies, same time as usual. But yeah, let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Big shout out to everybody who gave money tonight, who donated. I think that was it Squirrel? I think it was, it donated. Big shout out to everybody who stayed, who came, who saw, who shared, obviously. Give it a thumbs up, guys, if you already haven't. Remember, go and sub to Nonpartisan Media Live, because that's where the live shows will be happening soonish. And obviously we'll be just putting up the individual videos over this. But apart from that, guys, we'll see you on our Tuesday or Monday with more fantastic news. And don't forget, over the weekend, we're probably going to be streaming games, so check out our gaming channels as well. Apart from that, anything else you want to add?
No, that's it. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.
We'll see you guys soon. Have a great night and enjoy.